Hello, and welcome back to Tavern Watch Plays. This week we'll be returning to the best job of the rest of your life. Once again, we are playing Triangle Agency, a interesting slash mysterious slash very unusual game about wonderful corporate agents of the titular Triangle Agency protecting reality from the forces that would threaten to unravel it. I am your manager for the day, Phil Ulrich. And let's see who is clocking in for the day. We'll start from the top with Chris.
Hey, so I am Chris. Probably know me from other games, but especially this one from the first time. I play Roger. Roger is our wonderful, deeply in-depth, or in debt, I should say, agent who throws playing cards at people and eliminates them from existence.
Roger cleans up messes. I'll interject here. I didn't mention this. This is a follow-up to our first Triangle Agency game. You should go back and listen to that because it was good. But wait till you finish this one if you want to. These will have most of the same returning characters, which I think is pretty cool. We don't get to do that a lot here. Next on the line will be Eric.
Hi, I'm Eric, writer at Blizzard Watch, and I am playing Tad Silverfield today. I work at the hotline, and I'm always willing to listen.
Alrighty. And next up, we'll jump down to Nick.
I'm Nick, and I'm playing trainee agent Case, who has wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey powers for the agency, and as such gets shouldered with ridiculous tasks.
Next up, Joan.
Hi, I'm Joan Albright, former writer for Blizzard Watch. Today I'll be revising my role as Dottie. She's a manifold who accidentally stepped in from another reality and is kind of still finding her feet.
All right. And last but not least on the team today, Liz.
Hi, I'm Louisa, and I'm in public relations. I am so glad we could all be here today.
It is excellent to hear from everybody. Listeners to our previous episode will note that Terrence, played by Joe Perez, is not here today, but Terrence will still have something to say later in this episode. All right, so let's get a little look at what our agents have been spending their time doing lately. We'll kind of interrogate them here as they enter their morning meeting for the day. Person I would say most likely to be on time, I believe it is noted in his employee record that he is most likely to be on time, is of course Case. So Case, give us a little summary of what you've been doing with your time between missions as you file into your morning meeting this morning.
Well, because of our last mission together, Case ended up on probation, and as such, Case has been working to get off probation, but because the agency loves to take advantage of the timepiece powers by blurring the lines of tasks, objectives, and deadlines, it actually remains to be seen if Case is currently in a time period where he is or is not on probation. The agency loves to keep things muddied just to keep him on his toes. So, since then, he's been doing various tasks. He's met with his mentor Hale on how to get out of probation, and is now begrudgingly reporting to his morning meeting on time.
Yeah, I think this morning as you walk in, you've got kind of a unusual. You're kind of thinking about something that Hale was talking to you about over. Maybe you guys had dinner the other night. Where did you guys go for dinner? Did you actually leave the building, or were you down in the company cafeteria eating in the building, which is sad but encouraged by the agency?
Both. We spent time eating at the company cafeteria and then rewound time because Hale is also a timepiece to where our second set went out to dinner off grounds because we fulfilled the agency's respectful suggestion of staying on grounds. So they couldn't really say no.
Gotcha. How are you not so full? But he mentioned while you guys were eating, let's say, kind of at a decent little bar and grill. There was a news story on that he kind of brought to your attention. You probably would have ignored in the background of one of the Triangle Agency's, let's say, corporate competitors, the Wuhan Baxter Corporation. One of their subsidiaries, they have Hale has a contact with them, and so through the grapevine, he was telling you about this interesting thing he heard about some some workers that had gone missing after 6 days while they were renovating one of the Wuhan Baxter buildings in Ternion City. And he says, I haven't heard a lot about them, but they I don't know, it's weird. They haven't actually ever explained where they were. So he said, I don't know. This seems like something we might be looking into in a few days. So just keep your head on a swivel, kid.
And one of the things that, at least for Case, whenever his mentor does mention something, it's more than likely going to appear to him sooner than later. And all he could do was just sigh and put his hands in his head because he is just, so tired.
Aren't we all? All right. Who arrives next to the morning meeting?
I think Louisa shows up pretty early, you don't want to be super early, but you want to be there before most of the other people are there. You don't want to make it look like, oh, I had nothing else to do this morning, so I'm the first one here, but you do want to be punctual. So she would show up, she's got a sheath of papers in one arm and she's carrying a smoothie in her other hand, which she's sipping.
Yeah, I think part of the reason is because you actually did have something going on right before this. It was as part of the public relations team for the Triangle Corporation. You, of course, were included in the Monday morning mandatory reality television briefing, in which we cover news stories over the weekend and news stories and reality TV that appeared over the weekend, and note which ones are real and which ones might affect reality in strange ways. Most of them were just, the usual. There was some discussion who got voted off on Survivor and whether it had been affected by, any time anomalies, whether anybody got voted off twice, whether anybody was a doppelganger. And then there was one that was just it was weird because it was a documentary over something that had happened back in '97, where you vaguely remember. This may have been investigated by the agency at one point, where a pizza restaurant exploded back in '97 in Ternion City. No sign of anomalous activity as far as the agency knew, but also no real explanation other than a gas leak. Featured as part of the cable access show All American Mall Disasters.
That's an odd one to just randomly come up, but television does always need to fill space, so maybe they just ran out of better stories.
America, baby.
And you know better than anybody that America loves weird stuff, especially when that weird stuff explodes or is cute.
It's true.
In this case, it was an explosion. Who would be next to the meeting after Louisa?
It's probably Roger.
Roger, did you go home last night, or are you sleeping in the building again?
Oh, still sleeping in the building. He can't safely go home for the fear that he might be murdered at home.
Oh no! Yeah, when Roger says that he's in debt, folks, he's not kidding. Roger has a loan shark that has his phone number. Luckily for him, the headquarters of the Triangle Agency does not technically exist, as far as anyone knows, so it makes it a little easier to hide from your debtors. But we don't technically have anywhere on the grounds for people to stay. So you haul yourself out of your broom closet.
If he's not sleeping in the broom closet, he is sleeping down where you bury problems.
Yeah, we've there's probably some room down in the vault. I'd say after the last successful mission, in which case your team did successfully bring an anomaly back contained in the vault. I'd say maybe they're a little friendly towards you because you like Roger, like Case, was on probation after the last mission, but a success is a success, right? So
he was on probation for something that he shouldn't have been on probation for. I would like to add.
Well, you can file a grievance with the ombudsman by just dialing this number.
But anyway. Roger comes in with like the world's largest can of knockoff Monster, and like he comes over and he sets it down on the table with a thud. And then as he walks past it, he goes and gets a giant cup of free coffee and brings it back. And he's like shooting one after the next.
I don't think anybody even knew that Creature Energy Drink came in 44-ounce cans, but here you are. It looks like a bucket. It's an aluminum bucket, basically.
I want you to know that Terrence would be disgusted.
Terrence would be disgusted, but Terrence would also have it ready on demand.
That's true.
So he would make a better cup of coffee.
That's also true. All right. So we're running out of people to file in here. Dottie or Tad, who's next?
I think Dottie would probably be last.
All right, then
Alrighty,
in that
Tad.
case, Tad will stumble in, looking pretty harried. Not on time, maybe just a minute late or two. Tad has been working hard at the hotline, answering the calls, dealing with customer service, and trying to keep a happy face on all of the wacky hijinks that happen around the agency. He is also been able to allow the agency has allowed him to keep his casual part-time gig at the Ternion City Zoo, where he is an assistant junior zookeeper. And one of his duties is to care for the sick or injured animals and often has to take them home. And so once again, I am accompanied by Grumbles, who is a rock hyrax. And that is a small mammal. Think of a groundhog with some elephant qualities. It's got tusks. It's got big round feet. I do have it under one arm. I've got a carrier in the other hand. And what we're working on with Grumbles this week is he's been taking to stealing the other animals' food in the enclosure, and he's starting to have a weight problem. So we've got him on a diet. But I've been late and I'm unorganized and I'm dropping some papers, and Grumbles has somehow acquired a Pop-Tart and he is eating that. So I'm trying to deal with wresting that from him.
Oh no, I love Grumbles. Okay. Last but not least, Dottie.
So Dottie was actually early clocking in today, but on her way up, somebody asked her to help carry something back to their car. And because she's an intern, she gets a demerit if she denies a request. So she wanders in, panting a little from hiking back up the street.
Well, Dottie is always a hard worker, and we really appreciate that. And I think while you were on the way back, you actually passed one of the TVs in the lobby and maybe stopped for a second to catch your breath. They were reporting on some local interest, and there was a news story about the Ternion City Pizza Wars, an informal competition coming up soon. Unlike some cities, like Chicago's famous for their deep dish, and New York obviously has the New York slice. Ternion City doesn't have an official pizza style, and so there's an informal competition coming up in a few weeks between the restaurants in the city to determine the city's signature pizza style. Does Dottie know what pizza is?
Dottie has in fact discovered.
Oh wow, what are Dottie's thoughts on pizza?
Pineapple's a no-go. Doesn't like peppers either on it. She
Okay,
likes the meat lovers with some olives, mushrooms.
Nice. All right, kind of basic, but that's good. It's a good pizza, good solid pizza. All right. So Dottie makes her way into the meeting. And for everybody, your branch manager Gail is already waiting there. She has some folders drawn up with whenever Gail shows up with a set of folders, it means there's already a mission ready. And this is definitely an indication that you're about to be sent out into the field. Eric, on Tad's way past the Triangle Coffee Shop this morning. He may have stopped in for his usual brew. Terrence wasn't in this morning, but as you got your order, somebody pressed an envelope into your hand containing a message from Terrence with a note that it be read to the entire team at the meeting. Would you like to go ahead and do that?
Yeah. So here is what the note says. Hello, friends. I unfortunately will not be able to join you on our next mission.
I am needed elsewhere to help less fortunate souls within our company, whose spirits sadly need to be raised quite a bit. Know, however, that I keep a little piece of you with me while I am gone. I mean that literally. I have taken a lock of hair of each of you while you were asleep at your desk in the office. I assure you that this is perfectly normal and nothing to worry about. For our friendly PR rep, I have left you a caramel macchiato with a triple shot of espresso and a bottle of aspirin. I feel you will need both before the end of the day. For my wonderful clock-watching friend, I have left you a concoction I call a simmering fog. It's a lovely chamomile tea infused in steamed oat milk. This should help keep you calm in the most trying of times. For my quick draw friend, I have made you something I call financial balance, and I think you and I both know how badly you need that. It's a wonderful honey matcha latte with notes of pistachio. Also, I think you need to switch conditioners, or use one at all. For my little busy associate, I am determined to get you to like that wonderful bean elixir that is coffee at some point. But for now, please enjoy this wonderful Italian soda infused with hibiscus and blood orange. It should perk you right up and fight that burnout. Know that I will dearly miss you and will bring each of you a souvenir tailored to your specific tastes. Please remember me fondly while I am away. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. However, I think it just makes the caffeine taste all the sweeter. Yours forever and ever, Terence Howard Mothicus. Postscript. And ever.
And true to form, once Tad calls it to notice with the message, you notice that sitting on a side table across the room from the free coffee is, in fact, everyone's tailor-made beverages created by Terence H. Mothicus, barista extraordinaire.
Oh, that is so thoughtful of Terrence. Ah,
How does he do this?
Well, that is why Terrence was MVP last mission. Just know that wherever he is, he's wearing his socks of success. So everybody has time to collect their drinks, and then if there aren't any other matters, Gail's going to get right into it. Alrighty.
Grumbles does spill my coffee before I get to drink it, but as usual, Terrence has made me a backup, so I grab the backup.
That also explains why your drink came with a large pile of napkins. I think he also has
Grumbles while you drink the second one and pet him.
Aw. I think there's the equivalent of a pup cup for Grumbles, but it's sugar-free whipped cream because he knows somehow.
Terrence is always spoiling Grumbles.
It's part of the problem. All right, so Gail passes out the folders to the five of you and starts saying, first, we want to recognize some promotions. Terrence, who couldn't be with us today, but also Tad, Dottie, and Louisa have all been promoted to full associate. Round of applause, everybody.
Snaps for everybody. Woohoo.
Case, Roger, I'm sure you all have learned a lot from your time on probation, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do on this next mission. So
that's it? I'm still on probation? Again, Gail?
For the duration of this mission, if you perform well, you'll be taken back off, and you could even go straight from probation to MVP across the course of this mission. It's not unheard of.
Uh-huh.
So, Gail ignores your attitude and starts a slideshow on the projector. And the same things are contained in your briefing folders, but the gist of it is the following, and it's not exactly enthralling because Gail has a bad habit of reading directly off the PowerPoint. 6 days ago, 2 contractors and a building inspector went missing in the sub-basement of the Wuhan Baxter corporate headquarters while they were working on a renovation of the building's public promenade. Then 2 days ago, they reappeared. In the media, they were described as, quote, pale and calm, unquote, but otherwise unresponsive. Though no overt injuries were observed, the returned were taken to St. Mary's Hospital downtown for observation after paramedics determined that, despite their normal shape, the missing people were now missing all of their bones. The agency suspects that this is due to an anomaly. Gail has a couple of supplementary documents in there related to the history of the area. One is the 1997 Zabaro incident. An accident at the promenade in 1997 may be connected to the current situation. The official WB incident report lists a gas leak and subsequent explosion as the cause of the incident. A pizza restaurant was apparently destroyed. Police and fire investigation reports dated weeks after Wuhan Baxter's own report concur with this evaluation. 14 casualties were reported, but only 13 were identified. Triangle Agency investigated at the time but found no anomaly, but it's possible that they missed something. There's a disparaging note at the end that says that this lack of details available on this incident is not surprising for the private sector, but does speak to some degree of corporate malfeasance. The last part is an explainer of the promenade. The promenade was opened as a beneath Wuhan Baxter's corporate headquarters, formerly a mall and food court. It was quite the grand gala opening until folks realized that it was literally just another shopping mall, and Ternion City already had 3 of those. The traffic tailored off, and the WB Promenade was not in great shape for many years, businesses slowly dwindling out. The promenade was formerly a mall and food court under complete renovation currently to convert the space into a co-working center and lunch hall. The records office at Ternion City Hall would probably hold records of the building's construction and renovations. It's possible that if an anomaly has somehow hidden itself there since 1997, something about the building itself might explain. Any questions before we set you loose into the field, agents?
So the Zabaro was in the promenade?
That is correct. It was one of a few food stalls in the. It was there. It was there when the promenade opened in '85, and it was one of the last ones there until their unfortunate accident.
So there was 14 casualties, but only 13 were identified. So there was one casualty unidentified.
That is correct. Glad to see that sleeping in the building has not dulled your math skills, sir.
That does seem a little unusual. Someone would notice a person who had gone missing. Someone would report it.
There was a little hubbub at the time that it seemed unusual that no one, came forward to identify any missing persons still in the building. But, Wuhan Baxter occasionally makes news stories go away.
Maybe they were just from really far away.
Also possible. Not unknown, is it, Miss Dottie?
Not at all.
Alrighty. So Gail shuts off her PowerPoint. The lights come back up, and she says, all right. It sounds like you all have a handle on the situation. At this point, with the majority of your team being associates, I trust that you all will be able to handle yourselves well in the field. The agency has also asked that I alert you to a number of additional objectives. And she focuses on Roger and Case, and she says, think of this as a chance to get a little extra credit, gentlemen, and show the company that you're really committed to the cause of maintaining reality. The last sheet of your briefing includes optional objectives. For the people at home, this is +3 commendations for the first time each agent sits in a chair backwards, +1 commendation for each historical artifact inspected, parentheses, floor plans, photographs, pamphlets, etc. +1 commendation for the first 3 pizza-based puns an agent makes. +3 demerits for each pizza-based pun after the third. All right. You have your mission, you have your objectives, you have your optional objectives, and you will be provided, of course, with the standard issue ripple gun if you need to eliminate the anomaly, and the standard briefcase for capturing the anomaly. With that, where would you all like to get started?
Well, I guess we should probably get transportation, huh?
I think we
Probably
start
best to-
at. I think
We
we
might
need
be
to
able
start at
to
City Hall.
requisition one.
Yeah, transportation to City Hall. Let's try to keep the transportation intact this time.
Yeah.
That's a solvable problem. Everything's a solvable problem, but preferably.
I got my bike.
We probably
Okay.
wouldn't all fit on the bike.
No.
Yeah,
Not with that attitude.
I believe in your previous mission there was a perfectly intact van that then became a perfectly intact piece of art that just no longer happened to be drivable. That's just a coincidence.
Yeah, that was the zoo's only Honda Odyssey, and we still haven't replaced it, so I don't have anything.
The zoo
I thought
can't
they got
afford
that
it. Oh
fixed,
no.
though. No, I was pretty sure we got that fixed.
I
Well-
think we did. I think I made a very wordy request to the agency that
That they replaced the van.
No, they took it down to some shop and got it fixed.
Well, the good news is, if you don't want to rely on public transportation, you can, as agents, actually requisition a car from Triangle Agency for the cost of 1 commendation. You can use our 3-wheeling car service. You'll be assigned a personal vehicle of your choice, any commercially available road legal mobile object large enough and with any necessary accommodations for your entire field team. But be aware that returning a damaged car will result in demerits.
oh dear.
Does someone want to requisition a car?
I will requisition a car
Okay.
and hope for the best.
What kind of vehicle is Louisa requisitioning for the 5 of you and also a hungry, chubby Rock Hyrax?
Oh, wow. The Honda Odyssey thing worked out so well last time. I mean, maybe that's just the way to go.
Triangle Agency, I would like to note that Tavern Watch Place is not sponsored by Honda, but if they want to, we're right here. We're listening.
I mean, it's roomy enough for 5 and a Rock Hyrax. Not every car can do that.
All right, with that ad out of the way, Yeah, so I think it's just a quick call to the company requisitions, and you will find in the parking lot out front your, let's say, bright cerulean blue Honda Odyssey awaiting you, ready
Perfect.
to carry the whole team to wherever they want to go. I said that. So the Wuhan Baxter headquarters and City Hall and the hospital that were mentioned, everywhere is within the bounds of Ternion City. Wuhan Baxter, unlike the Triangle Agency headquarters, is a 44-story skyscraper that does, in fact, steadfastly exist, and is a important part of the city's downtown skyline. City Hall is in kind of an older part of town, but it's obviously one of the first buildings in the city. And I believe St. Mary's Hospital was also mentioned at one point. So those sound like you all wanted to head to the City Hall and check out the Hall of Records.
Correct. Probably not a bad place to start.
Seems like it. So, like most places in the country where Ternion City is located, City Hall is and the Department of Records are public information. It's not. So you kind of enter the spacious City Hall, and there's a little, follow the signs, and you go downstairs, and you're in there's fewer people around as you get down here because not a lot of people come in to visit public records unless they're coming for related to building leases or building, getting ready to put up a new building, need to inspect some blueprints, etc. So it's not terribly busy when the five of you walk into City Hall. And as you do, there is there's a woman probably in her 30s, bespectacled, working behind a desk at the entrance, and she looks up and she immediately spots Grumble. She goes, "Sir, I don't think you can bring your badger in here with you. Oh, is it a ferret? Is it just a very big ferret? I'm afraid you're gonna have to wait outside."
Support Hyrax.
An emotional support Hyrax. Okay.
Yeah, I do have the paperwork if you need to.
Yeah, if you just let me see some papers. I'm sorry, I'm just used to people with, dogs. Sure. Does Tad actually have emotional support animal, legal paperwork?
I do have a small laminated card that just says emotional support Hyrax.
This feels like that. This just says I can do whatever I want. From Parks and Rec. All right, so she looks at it and she says, she just flips it over. She's looking for any kind of identifying. Does it have any kind of identifying mark on it? Or is it
There's
literally?
There's one of those little silhouettes in the top corner of like a person patting a dog that makes it look official, but it does not have any other official looking qualities.
Okay, so I think she looks at it and then she just kind of passes it back across the desk to you, and she says, "Okay, does it need water or something?"
No, he's on a strict no water diet. He's got some Hyrax punch, but I didn't bring any food or drink with him. I know this is a public building. He's very well behaved. It just really, I just really need this Hyrax near me. When I'm out in public, I won't bore you with the story.
Kind of smiles and she says, "Okay. Anyway, how can I help you folks today?"
So is she have a computer terminal in front of her?
Yes, I think she does.
Is it accessible to touch?
For
the public at least, or is it a window barrier?
No, there's no window barrier. You don't really have to worry about that with public records. In fact, this whole area seems kind of small from what you're expecting, and you think maybe this is just the front office to the rest of public records. I think you would be able to. I think you probably touch the monitor. I think it's an old CRT monitor. The computer itself is probably underneath her desk, based on the fan noise you can hear.
Got it. I want to go up to her and say, "Good morning. My associates and I are here to request some public records, building permits, plans, floor layouts of the promenade, correct?
The promenade at the Wuhan Baxter headquarters.
Yeah. Just give the address instead of actually saying Wuhan Baxter.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you give her the address, and it actually does register right away, which is a little shocking. The address like she gets it immediately. She immediately goes, "Oh, the Wuhan Baxter building." She says, "Did you all hear about the disappearances there a few days ago? Weird business." She says,
Oh, I'm sure there's some perfectly ordinary explanation. There always is.
She laughs. She says, "Yeah, they always tell us something." And she starts typing, but she's kind of keeping a cross. She's kind of looking over her glasses at Case while she's pulling up the appropriate records. And she says, "So what? What's your folks' interest in the WB HQ? Huh? Are you looking to get a building? Are you looking to rent a spot there? Are you contractors? You don't look like contractors." Tap, 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 tap.
Well, technically, we're subcontractors to the contractors. While the contractors continue their work, the subcontractors do all the other work that the contractors may not have the manpower to do, or don't want the manpower to do.
She says, "Okay, interesting. That does make." She says, "Of course, a couple of people are missing work contractors, so be careful just in case there is something strange going on over there. But I heard they're a little shorthanded." Tap, 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 tap. She says, "Okay." She says, "Okay, we've got several different revisions of the floor plan on file. What one do you folks need?" We've
I
got
think we need all of them.
all of them. Wow. So for some of that, we're going to have to go back to the actual paper files. The Wuhan Baxter building dates back to 22 when it was just the Baxter Company. And then we've got a revision, stayed largely the same for several years. We had a revision in 84 when they were doing initial permitting for the promenade. And then, we've, so we don't really have, she says, tap, tap, tap. Yeah, we started digitizing in 2001, but there was kind of a focus on up-to-date floor plans. So we, I thought maybe we'd have a newer one on record, but I think we're going to have to go back to the paper files. Nobody's allergic to old dusty papers, I hope. She kind of laughs, comes out from behind the desk, and is turned away from you all towards a door that was off to the left, and she's got a big ring of keys and is looking for the one that will unlock that door. Case, it sounded like you maybe wanted to mess with the computer. If you wanted to do anything with that, now is the time.
Oh, it was more like if I needed to mess with time to say we put in a request a while ago, but
Oh,
sounds
okay.
like we're all good right now.
Yeah, it's not. The Hall of Records is surprisingly not super busy. You all are fine despite not having an appointment, I think. So she'll let you into the back, and the front. Let's say the front area where you were is just kind of like her desk and her computer and like a big printer in the back that can print off. Actually, is wide enough to print off floor plans. But this room is row after row after row after row of filing cabinets. And she lets you in. She says, "So anything from 1990 or earlier, you're going to find back here." And she leads you, and they're organized by decade, and then by address within that decade, within the city per decade. So she leads you into the 80s. And finds, she said, "I think the last one was in," here it is. And she pulls open a drawer with the address of the Wuhan Baxter building. The drawer is labeled 1984, and she pulls out this kind of a thick folder. And there's a table back there for looking through records while you're there, and she lays these things out for you.
Oh, this is perfect.
She said, oh, perfect. I'm a little surprised that contracting would require you to have info this old, but maybe there. She says, I admit I did enjoy going over to the food court there when it was fully open. I'm looking forward to maybe. She says, I heard they're thinking of adding, maybe reopening some of the stalls in there. That would be fantastic. And so she shows you the floor plan from 1984 when they submitted it for permits for the to add the promenade to the bottom of the building. And it clearly shows room for several retail businesses and 5 food stalls. One of them is one of those is McDonald's, because what food court doesn't have a McDonald's? And then the accompanying photographs also show facades being set up for Sandwich Witch, Smokey's Canadian Barbecue, the Sbarro, which was the source of the gas leak incident, and a place just called Milk Corner.
Dominitos are still there now. Is it?
She says, "Oh,
Or
I
no?
haven't been over to check in a while. I think actually none of them. Last I checked, there was a new place opening up in there, which surprised me, because the place kind of went downhill after most of the stores left. But there's a chicken and fish place opening up in there.
Make a copy of this floor plan.
Sure. Do you know how to work a copier, or do you want me to go make that for you?
I can go do that as Case turns to the other team, if someone wants to go grab the original before the revisions while I do that.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. So then, Case, you can take she puts everything back in the folder for care and convenience, and you can, so you had the floor plan, you had the photos of the restaurants and the retail stores. And the rest of you, she says, all right, so the previous one would have been back in the 20s. And she starts leading you back towards the oldest part of the filing cabinets. And partway there, she stops and she kind of goes, oh, dang it, I forgot. She turns around, she says, we don't have the original any. Sorry. So the records department was previously located further down in the basement of City Hall, and were any of you kids you all look pretty young. So none of you were probably around for the flood of 71, right? A lot of our original records got destroyed in that. Unfortunately, that includes the original 1922 plan for the Baxter building.
Well, that's not.
Yeah, she says, I'm sorry.
Oh, well, that's fine. We just find it's so useful to go back and to at least have a glance at the original plans, because you never know what's gotten lost over the years or things that have been forgotten to put down. But what we have is what we have. So, yes, thank you so much for your help.
Yep. So she'll kind of meet up with you all again when she kind of hangs around the table, and the table where you were at, and kind of makes small talk. Case, you're off. Were you the one making the copy?
Yeah, just making the copy, and then just I want to inspect it further as I do it.
Okay. What are you looking for exactly? Or are you using an anomalous power of some kind?
No anomalous power just yet. Just looking at it. That's TBD if I'm going to bring something up to the team just yet. But more focused on making the copy. Yeah.
Yep. So as mentioned, you see the permitting shows that they were adding the 5 food stalls that was mentioned. Again, that was McDonald's, Sbarro, Sandwich Witch, Smokey's Canadian Barbecue, and Milk Corner, and a number of retail brands that definitely all existed in the 80s, many of which don't exist anymore. Probably the only thing of note is that that the Triangle Corporation, the corporate wing of the Triangle Agency, has been in various retail chains for years. Putting safe to use anomalous material to work for the public good. But you actually don't see a single Triangle related store in the list for the Promenade's permits. Doesn't strike you as unusual. Wuhan Baxter and the Triangle Agency have never really gotten along. Rumor has it that they actually at some point got their hands on anomalous material, which the agency tries to lock down at all costs. So it's not surprising for you that Triangle was not opening a store right under their nose.
Actually, I do have a question about the plans.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to look and see what the overlay is from where the 97 Sbarro's was versus the sub-basement the contractors, quote, disappeared and then reappeared in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The sub-basement, the sub-basement is shown on the records and appears to run underneath the entirety of the promenade. Where a normal mall would have like a back room that kind of goes around and behind all the stores, since they couldn't really get in, because of where they were building this promenade, which was technically underneath their corporate headquarters. They were limited with the amount that they could expand horizontally, but they could expand vertically. And so they a sub-basement of many corridors, runs underneath the entirety of the promenade.
Okay, so we're looking at like a large sub-basement, not like a small sectioned off like cellar type thing under.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like it's just underneath the pizza restaurant.
Got
It's
it. Okay.
yeah, it connects everything. It looks like the entrance is somewhere on the promenade. It's a little hard to tell just because of the layout, but it looks like there's, and of course, a few entrances maybe from the restaurants, or not from the restaurants. Pardon me, from any of the businesses, but also from from somewhere in the promenade.
I'll offer the floor plans to look at to anybody else to look at.
I'll take a look.
Alrighty. Tell me what kind of things you all are looking for. I'm sure Case has shared his discoveries about businesses and the sub-basements sprawl.
So the one restaurant exploded.
Yeah.
What sort of
Yes.
changes were made to the layout after that? Did they put the walls back in the same places, or are they different?
So I think when you ask about that, what she shows you is there was an update in '98 for a re-permitting. It was a building inspector's logs. Is that there was a significant reduction in the reported square foot of the promenade, but no change to its actual shape.
What?
I
this
know.
this is the sort of thing you want to look at those historical plans for, because things change over the years. Things might get modified, lost. That can be very important for new work.
Well, the good news is
Absolutely.
if you're working to renovate that promenade, the good news is she kind of taps the ones you guys are in. She says pretty much everything you need is here. Anything on the plans from 22 is going to be about the corporate office itself upstairs, and they keep that pretty locked down.
So Tad has been struggling to keep a tiny N95 mask on Grumbles. He's very sensitive to dust, but he's struggling to fight it off. But Tad's going to ask, you said you've been over to the promenade, at least you used to. Are there any other stories besides the explosion? We're trying to get ahead of some of the, other reputation this area might have. So is there anything else strange or unusual that has happened on this property ever?
And she kind of says, well, there's she kind of thinks, she says, well, nothing specifically with that building. I mean, they did have that they had that they had that headline where they were in court a few weeks ago where they had that upcoming combination daycare and event center downtown, not at headquarters though, that they were forced to rename from WB Kids to the what do they call it? The Downtown Ternion Center Combination Child Care and Event Center presented by Wuhan Baxter Corporation. What a mouthful. She says that's, but like that wasn't even really like, that wasn't even really like a big deal. It was just, it's a really bad name. She says, no, the HQ has been pretty quiet. Like, there was it's just the 97 thing with the Zavarro. And, somebody probably could have told them that building another mall underneath the shopping center wasn't really a great idea. We had a lot of malls back in the 80s, huh?
What city needs 4 malls? It's just silly.
See, that's what I was saying.
3 is enough for anyone.
3 is plenty. I love the East Side Mall personally. She says, well, if you folks don't need any other records or anything, I've got to get back to work.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. This is helping us out so much.
Says, well, thank you. And yeah, the lady she'll lead you back out. If anybody needs to do anything sneaky in the Hall of Records, now is the time. Otherwise, you will be led out of the filing cabinet room and back out to the lobby around her desk, and then left to your own devices.
I've got nothing.
I could peek
Roger's
at a
been
few
rather
boxes,
quiet on
but
this
I
whole
don't have
thing.
any specific goals.
Okay. So Roger's not killing anybody arbitrarily. Thank you. Dottie's good. Sounds like the rest of you were fine. So with that, you've got you now have a copy of the, say the 84 and probably the 98 floor plans. Like I said, the only difference in the 98 floor plan, you don't actually see a change in the shape of the promenade, just a reduction in the reported square footage.
Mm-hmm.
which is probably suspicious in and of itself. Okay, what are you all going to do next?
Hmm.
Do we dare try to go up to corporate, or should we just head straight to the promenade itself?
Well, we should probably go take a look and see what things are looking like right now.
Yeah, we could go back to corporate if we feel the need.
There's also the hospital. If we want to look into more of what happened to the 2 individuals who disappeared.
That's right.
They're supposed to be there
General
right now, I think.
General Manager, you mentioned that they appeared, and are they alive? You did not say they were deceased, but the lack of bones is a little...
Is correct.
Yeah.
The building inspector and the 2 contractors who disappeared reappeared and were pale and calm, but otherwise unresponsive, and seemed perfectly normal other than being pale, calm, unresponsive, and oh yeah, their bones are gone.
Well, you do need your mouth bone to open this screen.
Yeah, bones seem important sometimes.
Yeah, kind of crucial.
Alrighty. So are we looking at going to Wuhan Baxter, or are we going to St. Mary's, or what's what?
I'm voting for St. Mary's.
Same.
I am along for the ride.
Okay. Literally in the Honda Odyssey. The 2026 Honda Odyssey, brought to you by Triangle Corporation. Okay. So I'll head over to St. Mary's Hospital. How do you all tell the reception desk that you're there to talk to these employees who I do not have names for, but I would assume their names are a matter of public record. So
I'm going to see if I can. There's got to be a doctor or someone with an official name badge or something that I can talk to for a moment and say that I have met them, and then I will use my inherited name tag.
Ooh, okay. You want to tell us what the inherited name tag does?
Once permission, I can write the name of someone I have met today on a name tag and wear it. Non-agents will treat me as that person as long as I keep the name tag on.
Yeah, I think you could just maybe find a doctor walking through just like walking through the reception area. Are you just gonna like walk up and shake his hand and introduce yourself?
Yeah.
So you're okay. Okay, so you just accost this doctor and kind of a so he's probably 6 foot tall, middle-aged, balding white guy with a long doctor coat, and he scrubs and just kind of running through. But you quickly accost him and shake his hand. And what do you say?
Oh, hello, Dr. Jones. I am so impressed with the work you do here. I'm Dottie. I would love to, see more of the things that you do here.
He kind of stops and looks completely flummoxed, and he's just like, how did you? I've got a patient coming into the ER. Have we met?
Oh, not yet. Don't worry about it.
Okay. It says maybe you're a friend of my wife's that I don't remember. He kind of shakes your hand confusedly, and he says, "Okay. Okay. Tell you what, is one of your friends here checking in? Is that what's happening?"
Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, I don't know if you can have a beaver in the hospital. You might have to outside with that. Dottie, right? You said your name was Dottie? Okay. Yeah, maybe my wife knew a Dottie. All right. I'll come back and say hi if you're still here. I'm sorry, you'll have to refresh my memory of how you know me, but I really gotta go. This guy just came in an emergency, and I gotta, So with that, he kind of rushes off through a set of swinging double doors. Yeah, he doesn't really wait for you to acknowledge. This thing is so weird, and he's in such a rush that he is just like boom through those doors.
And I think we can tick off the sanctioned behavior of embarrass yourself for others' benefit.
Yep, that sounds good. Mission accomplished there. I will mark that as completing one of your behaviors. For folks at home, our agents each have 3 sanctioned behaviors assigned to them based on their role in the company, and one of Dottie's as an intern is to embarrass herself for others' benefit. Yeah, so I think that counts as enough of a meeting for your inherited name tag to work. And so, was it for the rest of the day? If you're wearing it, people will
Yes.
treat you as Dr. Jones.
That's right.
Alrighty. Well, feel free to clip on your name tag then, and yeah, now it's a different story. If you ask at the reception after the people, after the folks with no bones, or just the folks from the incident over at WB, what they'll say is, yeah, they're up on the fifth floor. We put them in the ICU, even though it doesn't really seem like that big of an emergency. Remember, like they seem fine, other than the no bones thing. And she says, but the cops have had the room pretty locked down, so just try not to make them mad. All right, Doc.
All right, will do.
Alrighty. Is anybody doing anything else at this point before you all head up to talk to or head up to the fifth floor?
I am keeping my hands to myself as we move, like through the crowds of people in the hospital. You'll notice anybody who's close enough to Roger will notice that almost like someone who has like the germ phobia, he's very careful about what he puts his hands on as he walks.
Yeah, this has to
tissue
be.
boxes too and putting them over your hands, or
Oh yeah, if Roger wanted to grab some rubber gloves, this is the place for him.
Yeah, probably grabbing a couple rubber gloves that he's putting on and then quickly pocketing some as well.
Yeah, I think that's just like par for the course at the hospital. Anybody who needs they don't have one size for a rock hyrax, but anybody who needs probably a mask and some gloves, this is probably the place to get it. Okay, so anybody
So
else
I've
got
stocked up?
any? Sorry, go ahead.
I've got Grumbles inside of his carrying case, and I've put across the little privacy sash, and I've taken a big sticker and put it on the top of it, and it says donor organs.
I love it.
Oh no, Grumbles! Oh no, nothing will happen to Grumbles, I promise. Okay, so with that, you all can head upstairs. So you take the elevator up to the fifth floor. The ICU is kind of laid out like a big open square. The rooms are all along the outside of this area. The nurse's desk is kind of a large round desk in the middle. And you can see pretty much as soon as you get out the elevator that the room diagonally across from you, where the nurse downstairs told you that the folks from the WB incident are located, there are two cops stationed outside. Kind of a tall, lanky guy, dark hair, dark eyes, looks tired, and then a short, stocky woman with tan skin, dark curly hair, and who also looks like she does not want to be here right now. But they haven't taken any notice of you because the five of you just got off the elevator. Maybe they kind of glanced in your direction and they see, a doctor and four visitors. What would you all like to do?
I'm going to try to go into the room.
Okay. I think, so are you bringing everyone else with you, or are you separating from the group at this point?
I'm probably not going to try to take more than one other person with me.
Okay. Who is going with quote Dr. Jones unquote to visit the patients?
I would like to, because I have a thing I could possibly maybe do.
Are you going to use negatives to figure out where their bones went? Okay.
You were the first one I had in mind, I think.
You see directly into my head.
It's such a good power. For folks at home, Louisa has the ability to touch where something used to be and see where and get basically information about that thing. But yeah, so we'll say Louisa and Dr. Jones head over
Fun party
to.
trick.
What's that? It is a fun party trick.
As long as it works.
Yes.
So there is a little rest area here at the little like reception area with like some desks or like a couple chairs and some snack machines and a TV. The rest of you don't just like have to stand around awkwardly near the elevator, looking extremely out of place. Louisa and Dottie, you head over to the room in the ICU, and the cops kind of like they kind of start to, as you're walking towards them, they're like, "Oh crap, somebody's heading our way," and they kind of start to like pull ranks and close in towards the door. And then one of them sees you're a doctor. I think the shorter one, the woman kind of holds her hand up and she says, "Hold on, Doc. Who's this?" She points at Louisa.
Relative.
A relative of which one now?
Did we get the names?
Yes, we did get the names. They are, and I will put them. I will put the news story about it in the chat that actually has it. It is a. You have the building inspector, Hal Utrecht, and then 2 employees of the O'Rourke contractors, O'Rourke Construction of Newark, New Jersey, Jacob Gran and Tilda Lartinez.
I'll let Louisa decide who she's a relative of.
Get me in trouble, guys. Oh, I was reading about this in the news, and poor Tilda. I've pulled a handkerchief out of a pocket, and I'm dabbing at my eyes, even though I'm not crying, but I'm doing the voice.
For the people playing along at home, Louisa is not allowed to lie.
I can lie, but I get a demerit if I lie, and I don't want demerits.
And she's a company lady. She does not want those demerits. This does not count as a lie. This counts as dodging the question entirely. And they kind of look. The shorter woman kind of looks up at her partner and she says, "Well, I mean, I can let the doctor in, obviously, but no relatives or anything right now. They don't know. Well, they don't know very much, I guess." She says, "We don't want to, just in case this is contagious or something." Said I'd have to clear this of my superiors. And she's starting to reach for the radio on her chest if you look like you're going to continue to walk into the room with Dottie.
I told you they probably wouldn't let you in.
I was just hoping to see her for just a moment.
All right, I'll tell her you stopped by.
And she says, "Well, you can.
Well, thank you,
you can look through the door and you can see her there, but yeah, I'm afraid we'll. Sorry, ma'am. It's you know how it is."
Yes, of course, of course.
And you.
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's so hard with someone who loves and hurts, and
It's all right. It's all right. I've got this covered.
And so while Dr. Jones is heading into the room, the cop's like patting your hand. She says, "I get it, honey." She said, my cousin got shot last year, nicked his lung. We were worried for so long, and she's very just making small talk. She's already forgotten the doctor. She is making small talk with you.
And Louisa are good small talk, so she will continue to keep them busy from anything Dottie might want to do.
Yep. There you go. So would you say that is creating a distraction? Because I would say that is creating a distraction.
I would like to create a distraction, yes.
I think you're making a distraction here. But in the mean, we'll just assume that that's happening in the background. So people in the waiting room can see this happening. And then Dottie, you slip into the room under the guise of your of the doctor. Inside this room, there are 3 beds. Inside those beds are 3 people. They are, as mentioned, Hal, Jacob, and Tilda, the people who had gone missing. Each of them is in a hospital, each in a hospital bed, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. They are hooked up to medical equipment. The first thing you notice is that the things that would normally measure their heart rate are turned off. What would you like to do while you're in here?
I'm not sure that Dottie even knows what any of this equipment does.
That's also true.
I need to get a layout of the room if I'm going to find a shortcut.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's kind of just like a fairly so this is a square room. You're entering from the door. I think there's a bathroom to your left. With its own door for privacy. The 3 beds are laid out side by side with a curtain between each one, and then there is a large window on the far end of the room.
Okay. So if I don't see anything else that strikes me as useful, then I will just spend a few minutes to pretend I was doing something important, and then head back out again.
Okay. Are you inspecting the victims in any way, or were you attempting to?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look at them.
Okay.
I'm just not
Um,
confident that I will know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, you're not a trained doctor, despite what your name tag seems to think. Um, you are like, no matter how you circle them, if you get close to them, if you try to talk to them, none of them respond in any way. They don't. They don't blink. They don't. Well, they seem to be breathing, but none of
Mhm.
them move. They are. They seem to be completely non-responsive.
Okay. All right. I'm going to head out and then see if I can make a shortcut for one or more of the others to slip into this room.
Ooh, spicy. Okay, so that is one of your manifold powers, correct?
Yes.
Would you like to read how that works for the people at home?
When you want to get somewhere in a hurry, say the phrase, I know a shortcut, and then describe a short path to the discussed location.
Okay. Yeah, I think you would be able to use, like, you could probably use another door to use the bathroom as the other end of the shortcut, I would guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so this requires a die roll. So we are going to have our first die roll of the session, which will be, since this is Triangle Agency, all rolls are 6d4. And the magic numbers you're looking for is 3. Ideally, you would get 3 threes, but, reality doesn't always go that way. And the stat associated with this, the QA associated with this, is initiative. Does Dottie have anything in initiative?
Dottie has put 2 dots in initiative since last
Oh,
game.
okay, so the
Hopefully
good news
she won't
is...
end up parking a vehicle on a statue this time.
Hopefully. So no burnout with this. Burnout would automatically remove 3s from your roll, but do remember that you can use your QAs to adjust 3s. So go ahead and roll 6d4 and tell me how many 3s and non-3s you get.
Alrighty. I have 1 3.
Okay, so you have 1 3, which is a success, and I get 5 chaos. Don't worry about that at all. Would you like to use any QAs to adjust any 3s?
Yes, because I need to bring at least one person with me.
That sounds good. Would you like to use 1 or 2?
Does anyone besides Louisa need to go in? What do you guys think?
Ace would like to go in.
Roger's watching the cops at the door.
I feel like at this point maybe Louisa needs to continue making a distraction, just to make sure the cops are occupied. And
Yeah. Case, do you think that you can figure out what happened by yourself, or do we need Louisa in here too?
I mean, there's not a guarantee I could figure it out either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I can figure it out, but I have something I want to look for. I think
Okay.
I'd like Louisa to continue making a distraction because, I mean, someone sobbing in the middle of the
Yeah.
hallway is a
It is
really
a very
good
good
distraction.
distraction, yes.
Okay, so far we need
Okay.
one additional
So
success.
I will spend. I have
I was
to
going to say,
spend these,
does
right?
Tad want to go?
Human medicine isn't really my thing. I'm more of an expert with animals. And behind me on the counter, Grumbles has gotten into the courtesy snacks, and he's eating saltines.
All right. So, Joan, you would need to spend 1 of your initiative. It's a pool of points. You need to spend 1 of your initiative to add a second
All right.
success. Okay,
Done.
so in that case, I only get 4 chaos. Don't worry about that. Describe the shortcut that leads you and Case back in and back into the ICU room.
Yeah, so I noticed that all of these rooms have a little bathroom to them, and obviously someone has to get in for cleaning. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the cleaning room and open the secret passageway that leads to all the bathrooms. And we'll go down the hall until we find the one we need.
Sure enough, as improbable as it was, the supply closet, not far from the elevator, does in fact have a back door that does in fact lead to all of the bathrooms in all of the ICU rooms. Very weird layout, but it's true. It exists. And so, Case, you are now in the ICU room with Dottie. Sounded like you had something you wanted to look for while you were in here.
Yeah, I want to, at least I know a good majority of hospitals they don't have the clipboard of notes anymore, but they have computers there. So
they do.
Yeah.
A lot of I'm drawing on my local hospital for this. I'll also note that for the most pertinent notes, there's also a whiteboard on the wall.
Yeah.
Usually that has relevant notes.
Okay. I'll look at that first. I just want to see if there's been any sort of any useful information that I would glean from there. Otherwise, I'd mess with the computer.
Yeah, I think the thing you notice, which Dottie would not have picked up on because she didn't know what the equipment was that was hooked up to them, is that the folks are in the beds. Besides missing all their bones, which was reported on the scene, they have no pulse. And there is also a note, it's just a simple note. It kind of doesn't make any sense, but it's underlined, so you're guessing it's important. Do not move patients suddenly.
Is there another doctor's signature or sign off on the board, like they're attending?
Yes. I don't know if you can read it, but there is a signature from their attending there.
Very good. Touche.
Those might be letters.
They're letter shaped, but that doesn't guarantee that they're real letters.
But there is a computer there in the room if you needed to pull up the notes or anything. Unlike the heart
Yeah.
monitors, which if they had them plugged in would just be whining 0 BPM the whole time and alerting the nurses. The computer is on and fully powered and all that.
I'm assuming it's locked, so I'd just like to touch it and make it go to a previously unlocked state so I could read the most recent notes, because the lack of documentation on all these people is incredibly disturbing for how jacked up they are. Everyone is incredibly nonchalant, and it's freaking me out. Like, as Case, it's why does nobody seem to be concerned that these people don't have bones, but they also have no pulse. So there's something going on here, and I want to try to glean any sort of like anomalous impact from whatever notes I can find or potential corporate interference from WB.
Is this one of
Sorry,
your?
Wuhan Baxter.
I was gonna say, so is this one of your anomalous powers, or?
There's not an explicit anomalous power that makes me go or turn it back into an unlocked state.
Okay, so I think in this case, what you would need is to contact the agency to basically have them alter reality in a way that this computer is unlocked. So we can do that. That's easy to do. First, we describe an improbable but still possible event that would cause this computer to be unlocked right now instead of locked. And everyone can pitch in if anyone has ideas. This isn't all on your head.
Yeah, so
I
I have a mouse that's very twitchy. even if I'm not at the computer, when I was using this mouse, it would just slightly vibrate with like the fans of the computer. And so it wouldn't go to sleep.
Man, I think I need one of those to hook up to my work laptop. I mean, nobody heard that. That sounds perfectly reasonable to me. If that,
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I don't even think you need to really roll back on that. All right, so let's see. So now we need to pick one of your quality assurances, one of your stats to roll for this. I'm just looking here. So you're trying to get in somewhere that you don't technically belong. So technically, I was between duplicity and subtlety, but you're not actually lying. You're just you're trying to do this very quickly, very carefully before anyone notices, before Louisa's distraction wears off. One of the cops glances over and sees you're in here. I think subtlety is the one. So if you need to spend any QAs on this roll, subtlety will be the one that you will spend it with. Does Case have any points in subtlety?
3.
Okay, well, the good news is you will
Nice.
not be rolling with any burnout right now. So go ahead and roll 64.
And remind me, it's anything above a 3 is a success, correct?
Nope, it's only 3s.
Oh, only 3s. Okay, I've got 2 3s.
Okay. Would you like to spend any of your 3 subtlety points to make that to 3 3s? You cannot force a transcendence, but it will make a result that causes me to not get any chaos from this roll.
Yes, I will spend 1 subtlety.
Okay, so that goes to 3 3s, which, as we all know, the triangle is the most stable form of reality, and therefore 3 3s is stable. 3 3s is a success and causes 0 chaos, which chaos is my currency as the general manager to have the anomaly do things. But in this case, what happens is that so how does Case contact the agency? I'm just very curious about this. Do you call? Do you text? Do you have an app? I don't know how this works.
I have a Nokia. Yeah, I'll just call.
Oh,
Because old Nokia persists through time. It's indestructible.
yeah, they are. It's not even an anomalous thing. Nokia was investigated back in the 90s to see if they were embedding anomalous material to make their phones so indestructible. And no, it's just a once in a lifetime surprise. All right, so time resumes, and the agency has altered reality. The mouse on the table, you do see that when the fans are blowing on the computer, the mouse just jiggles just a little bit, and it's immediately obvious because it wakes up. It wakes up the screen. It never locked itself from when the last doctor was in here. So, tell me what you would like to look for in the more complete case notes here.
The most recent entry that they have, like when the last check-in was. What narrative are they writing? Like hand notes that they're
Okay. Okay. So what you find is you find a series of notes from a couple different doctors who have been to see them, and every doctor who's been assigned to this case is extremely confused. So you find the same thing, that the same anomalous info that you already knew, that they were missing all their bones and that they have no pulse. The pulse thing has been written up as a mechanical failure, although one of the doctor's notes they tried it the old-fashioned way and they couldn't feel anything on their wrist either, or their neck, or even on, over their chest, and so they thought that was something is up there. Maybe it's just weakened their heartbeat below what can be detected. Not sure. You do find the explanation for the thing about not suddenly jostling the patients. It's noted that somebody, I think when they were getting Hal's stretcher out of the ambulance here, someone, jostled his thing, and it caused him to kind of move in a way, sudden movement, and a thick red liquid began leaking from the corner of his eyes and mouth. And then there is attached a lab report with analysis of this, because it wasn't blood. They thought at first, this guy's bleeding from the eyes and mouth. That's probably bad. A lab analysis revealed the unknown substance to be common mass-produced pizza sauce.
Oh. Oh.
I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly. Did you say their blood was replaced with pizza sauce?
They didn't cut them open and check, but yes, jostling Hal suddenly caused the corner of his eyes and mouth to leak what, for all intents and purposes, appeared to be pizza sauce. And with that revelation, I think we're going to stop episode 1, and our readers can just kind of chew on that for a while.
Blizzard Watch is made possible due to the generous contributions at patreon.com/blizzardwatch. Your continued support means that this podcast signing community is able to thrive and grow. Blizzard Watch supporters enjoy exclusive benefits like early access to our podcast, a better chance at having your question answered on our podcast or the queue, and an ads-free site experience. Be sure to join us next time.